Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome back. We will soon be getting started. We're back on the streaming trail with our Anti-Galacticos save. It's been a little bit of a while since we had one of these episodes up, but we're going to get straight back into it tonight. We're going to get ourselves through this Champions League group stage and then on to glory, hopefully. Let me just get everything set up for the vertical stream that's going out. I'm just going to get that going now. So we need to get our virtual camera on. A little bit of behind the scenes stuff. Skip ahead 30 seconds or a minute if you prefer, and we will go live. We're multi-living this one. So let's get everything set up. Okay, we should be live right now. We're welcoming everybody in. So good evening. It's been a while. It's been a minute since we streamed last. Real life stuff getting in the way as usual, unfortunately. These things happen every so often. But we're back in the hot seat. Real Madrid 2000-2001 retro database. Going for our Anti-Galactico football. So for those of you who have watched this previous episodes, or those of you who are new in, we'll just go through everything very quickly for you. So I'm using the Mad Scientist 2000-2001 retro database. As we've already said, I'm taking charge of Real Madrid, one of the great teams of the era. But there's a twist. We're playing Anti-Galactico football. So we've signed the likes of Dion Dublin as our big target man up front. We've got Ugo Ehiogu and we've got David Batty forming the spine of our defence and midfield. And we're playing Route 1 football. So let's get straight into it. We are picking up with a match here against Espanyol. We're at home at the Bernabeu, and then we've got a Champions League doubleheader against Panathinaikos. So we'll be looking to secure our Champions League progression this evening. It might just be a short stream this evening. We might just be on for an hour or so, but do stick around for all the action. So let's have a look at our team. So this is what we were playing in the last stream, a 4-4-2 formation, and these are the players we've got. So we've got big Dion Dublin. Let's just pop his profile up there for you all to have a look at what he was like back in the day. Big target man. Want him there for the headers. He's linking up well with Roberto Carlos. But let's get out there straight into the match. Come on, let's go for it. Good evening, by the way, and welcome to the stream. Those of you who are joining us nice and early, please do say hello. Get into the chat. Obviously, big news for Football Manager fans this week in that we had that announcement yesterday about the international update that's coming. So we've been waiting for news on that for a while. We finally got the news. It's coming on May 26th. So are you hyped for it? Or are you just over FM26 and nothing's going to save it for you? But yeah, do let us know your thoughts on that international announcement. Also the fact that Miles Jacobson was quite candid in that about the kind of difficulties and challenges and failures around FM26, so share your thoughts on that as well. All right, let's just do a quick media interview. It's all down to hard work. Let's have a look. We finally found our feet. Yeah, we've all worked hard. What are your thoughts on the recent run of fixtures? There are no easy games these days. There were no easy games in 2000, no easy games today either. So here we go. That's how we're lining up. What a 4-4-2 to have. Yes, absolutely beautiful. Espanyol going for a 4-2-4. Interesting. Pochettino lining up in defence here. Bit of a throwback one there. Any Spurs fans in the house? I'm sure you'll be happy to see him. Remembering your good old days, as it were. All right, let's go for it. See if we can get the big win here. I do not like what we're seeing here. Okay, there was some weird glitch there. I'm not sure what that was about. But okay, we'll just move on. We'll move quietly on and hopefully get ourselves a big result today. All right, good stuff. Of course, we are moving towards the business end of the real world season, the 25-26 season. Is this database for free? Asks DJ McLean. It is free. You can just look up the Mad Scientist. You'll find him here on TikTok. You look up the Mad Scientist and you'll get the links there to go and download the database. You can also get it on the Steam Workshop. I would say, though, that the database is free. But if you want extras, like you want to have the retro kits and logos and player face packs, I believe those are paid extras, unfortunately. Oh, man, we've just gone behind to Espanyol. But the actual database itself is available for free. All right, not off to the best start. Right, we will demand more quickly with a shout to the team. Hopefully we can get straight back into this here. We'll be looking for a quick return. Roberto Carlos, come on, he's lining up the big free kick. He belts it in, thunders it off the crossbar. Oh, unlucky. But that's the kind of stuff. Can you also get real-life players as regens later on for free? Not for free, unfortunately, DJ McLean. So you need to follow a user called Mr. Tinney. He creates that regen mod that brings those real-life future stars into the game at the right club and at the right time. But that one is a paid extra, so unfortunately not available for free. Dion Dublin gets us back in it with the towering header at the back post. Little bit of a arrow bolt celebration. We'll let him have that one. Look at this. Roberto Carlos just go marauding down the flank, hits the cross to the far post. This is what we work on in training. Dion Dublin is the man, repping the black and gold of Real Madrid. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. But as you do come in, don't forget to hit that like button and share the live as well. Drop a comment, all that kind of stuff to help the algorithm get this out to as many people as possible. Yeah, we'll have a little chat about the World Cup content and see what you think about that. My game's a little bit jittery today for some reason. I might have to have a look into that. But anyway, let's see if we can take the lead here. It's probably just shocked that we're not absolutely slaughtering Espanyol at this point. But here come Espanyol on the counter. Casillas with a solid save. Nice one. All right. FC26, Ted. Don't play it myself. Not my kind of game, that one. I prefer the management style of games these days. All right, here we go. Salgado. Nice ball inside to Makaleli. Batty. There we go to Dion Dublin. Great to see them linking up at the Bernabeu. Let's get the cross in here. No, it's played back to David Batty. Oh, we're playing a bit of one-touch football here. Salgado, come on. There's got to be a goal coming here. Surely. Pochettino with the own goal. Nice one, Poch. We appreciate it. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. All right, let's skip the replay. We don't need to see any more of that. But we've taken the lead thanks to Pochettino. Beautiful stuff. We love a bit of a Pochettino own goal. Has the new patch come out yet? Asks Steve. I believe you're asking about the international patch. That's going to come out on May 26th. So that will be the patch that restores international management to the game and brings in this World Cup mod as well. Although if you saw the announcement yesterday, that's going to be an initial release, and then there's going to be a further update in June. So in June, we're going to get fully licensed to get all the kits for the teams that have qualified. We're going to get, all the match graphics, stuff like that. We're going to get the real squads for the World Cup as well once those have been announced. So absolutely buzzing for that. Can't wait for it. We'll be doing some live streams for that as well. So make sure, you follow and you're looking out for those. All right, let's have a look. We'll just get in touch with everybody, and off we go for the second half. How am I finding the new UI? Asks Steve. Yeah, it's still not that great. I have. Oh, sorry, hit the microphone there. I've downloaded a skin here. It's from Mr. Tinney, the same person who makes the regen mod. That's made it a bit better. I wouldn't say it's made it perfect. But that was something Miles Jacobson addressed in the announcement about the international mode yesterday. He said all the challenges around the UI, and they accept now that they just didn't really hit the mark with it. They didn't achieve what they were trying to do, but they are aware of that, and they're working on it for the next iteration of the game. So hopefully FM27, we're going to see something much better. Let's bring on Morientes for Raul. He's on a yellow. And he's not playing well. Who's frustrated? McManaman and Campo. All right, let's get Karanka on then. Future Middlesbrough manager. We'll bring him in. And that'll do for now. We'll leave Stevie Mac on. Go out there and make a difference. All right. Confirm changes and get back out there. Game's a bit jittery tonight for some reason. All right. we'll manage. We'll cope with it. As we said, don't forget to make sure you hit that like and you share the live as well. If we can get up to 1,000 likes, we'll have a quiz, a retro football quiz, as Roberto Carlos shatters the woodwork for the second time tonight. All right, we've got a retro football quiz ready, so yeah, make sure you're hitting those like buttons for that. Anyway, let's see what we can do. Can we get... I think we need another goal here to make sure of things. At 2-1, we're always going to be susceptible to Espanyol hitting us on the counter. So we need to... Yeah, we need to give ourselves a bit more of a cushion. There we go. Karanka. Ehiog's bringing it forward. Come on, let's get those long balls up. Just find Dion Dublin. Find his head. There we go. Steve McManaman, he was looking for Dion, wasn't he? Misplaced, though. Misplaced. Not the right ball in that situation. All right. Good stuff. We'll get the praise shout out again. And hopefully we'll see out this final 10 minutes. Barcelona losing at Real Sociedad. You can't quite see that. You haven't got the scores up there. But yeah, they are 2-0 down now to Real Sociedad. Real Sociedad are going top tonight. We are moving up to 4th with this win. So hopefully we do actually get the win, because we got a late highlight here. Don't pay any attention to the fact that it's our free kick. This could be a swift counter for Espanyol, or it could be Roberto Carlos setting things up for us here. David Batty finds Dion Dublin. Dion Dublin was offside. All right, never mind. All right, good stuff. Let's keep it all going. Keep it all going. Let's see out this stoppage time now. Come on, boys. Let's... Oh, no, we don't like this. It's a goal kick. Okay. I never like a goal kick this late in the game, because my FM goalkeepers, it's an FM curse. They'll do something stupid. They'll give it away. The defender will do a horrible back pass. Something like that. Yeah, he's played it short. Okay, we got away with that. I'm not sure what that highlight was for. What was that highlight for? Answers in the comments, please. But we get off to a winning start tonight. 2-1. Against Espanyol. We'll take it. All right. Very happy. Good. Let's leave the match. Let's get on to some Champions League football. All right. Let's have a look. Steve says, so with the old gen player DBs, is the player rating more fair than the 99 2000? I don't know. It's... yeah, that is something I've noticed with these retro databases. It seems when you transfer those stats into modern versions of FM, you just get loads of uber world-class players who just destroy the opposition. When I played the 99 database, the 98-99 database, I remember playing a couple of years ago, and like Michael Owen, Robbie Fowler, they were just destroying the Premier League, but so were Andy Cole and Dwight York. And they were all on like 50 goals each for the season. Oh, Dion Dublin set for a goal bonus. Well deserved. We'll let him have it. Players in need of a rest. Who cares about that? Roberto Carlos, man of the match. Beautiful stuff. Assistant can do the press conference. Off we go to... we've got to face Panathinaikos in 3 days' time at home. Champions League will be after a big win here to secure our progression to the next group stage. Yeah, there was like 50 players with 20 finishing, indeed. And then they've got all the physical attributes as well to turn them into real superstar players and things like that. All right, let's keep going from here. There we go. So that's how we don't want to worry about defending against Panathinaikos. Come on, we're Real Madrid. We don't care about stuff like that. All right, all good stuff. We do have, yeah, as we said, if we get that like target, we're on our way there now. If we get to 1,000 likes, we're going to pick out here one of my classic football shirts player cards. We'll do a little guess the player. So a little bit of an interactive quiz for you. But yeah, make sure you keep hitting that like and we'll get there. All right. I will send my assistant to the press conference for the Panathinaikos game. Which team do I support? Asks Steve. I am a Manchester United supporter. Going back many a year, I started, I think first, it was in the Alex Ferguson era, but it was before the Premier League era. The first match I went to see back in the day, I think it was 1990 or 1991. Went to Old Trafford to see Man U play QPR. Saw Ryan Giggs play that day. And then I would later see Ryan Giggs play again in like 2014 in the Champions League. I was in Turkey at the time, and Man United were drawn against Besiktas. So I got to. It was interesting that I got to see him spaced. So in 2 matches spaced so far apart. Right, let's have a look at our setup here. So we've got both Roberto Carlos and Salgado suspended for this one. Let's do a quick pick, and then we'll work from there. So Karanka at left back, Helguera at right back. We're just going to have to go with those. I suppose we could go for one of our other formations. We could go. We don't really have any wing backs. That's the problem. Okay, we'll just stick with the 4-4-2. Keep that tactical familiarity up. We got Morientes in there. Good. We've done a bit of rotation. That's all looking good. So let's go to the match. All right, let's have a look. Okay, yeah. Don't promote your own stuff in someone else's stream. That's not the way we do things around here. All right. How long are you on this save? I'm just going to do the 1 season, James. So that's the plan. We'll do this a 1 season challenge. Let's see if we can win everything with Real Madrid. Thank you for the comments. I often get those. Steve supports Arsenal. Okay. 3 p.m. kickoff in Finland, 1994, all because of the great goalkeeper, David Seaman. All right. Good stuff. So you're a long-term Arsenal supporter. You'll have seen the last time they won the Premier League and things like that. Yes, I always remember, United and Arsenal having some great rivalry through the 90s. Those were the days. All right, good stuff. Let's get those sorted. All right, so up against Panathinaikos here. Hopefully, this should be a stroll in the park, surely. Let's see, we're playing them back-to-back. We need to leave our mark here. Tell everyone, make the difference, make the difference, make the difference. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Quick talk to the press. Preparing for these matches differently. Yeah, we're absolutely ready. There you go. My players are ready for anything. I'm not even reading the questions with these. Good stuff. All right. We've won our first 2 games in the Champions League. We're also in a group with Feyenoord and Leverkusen. So we easily beat Feyenoord away. Here we go. Let's just enjoy some of that Champions League music, although it's probably a bit of an advanced level presentation for the year 2000. There we go. We've got the Champions League music. I don't know if the sound of that is coming through, but yes, Fergie used to bully the league back then. Indeed, he did. Yeah, with all his mind games and things like that. But yeah, he's got to be regarded as one of the great managers of all time. Why don't I have the Real Madrid players? I do have the Real Madrid players. What are you talking about? This is the 2000 database. So we've gone back to the year 2000, and that's what we've got. All right, there we go. Let's kick off now. I just need to... There we go. Good. Got all that sorted. All right, good stuff. So let's get your score predictions in the chat. Don't forget to keep hitting that like button. So, get this live out to as many people as we can. Yeah, makes sense indeed. So we're using a retro database. So Figo there taking the free kicks. We've got the likes of... Who else have we got here? Fernando Hierro. We've got Iker Casillas. Flavio Conceição. Claude Makalele. Fernando Morientes. That's the team we're dealing with here. So a generation ago, but a great team this was. A great team of Galacticos. But we've signed Dion Dublin. And there you go. He's just scored another goal for us. What a guy. What a guy. Homes under the hammer. We love a bit of Dion Dublin here. Absolutely brilliant stuff. But look at that. Beautiful free kick. Figo. This is what works best for us. Crosses from the byline. Just look for Dion Dublin. Look, even though he has to backpedal there, he still gets his big noggin on it. Beautiful goal. Beautiful goal. The skin, Joseph, is the Mr. Tinny skin. And yes, Tempest, this is kind of the point of this save. It's the Anti-Galactico save. So, gone back to the year 2000. I want Real Madrid to play kick and rush 4-4-2 football. We signed Dion Dublin as the target man, Ugo Ehiogu as our kind of battling centre-back, and David Batty we've got in central midfield as well. So that's the spine of the team, and we're making them play long ball football, and it's working so far. So that's the kind of thing. I thought just managing Real Madrid, it's always a bit dull. Just manage Real Madrid. Oh, we won everything with Real Madrid. What a surprise. Even Zidane could do that. So, well, I guess not everybody can win everything with Real Madrid, but you just have to ask the likes of Xabi Alonso and Arbiola. All right, here we go. Morientes, Figo. But, that's with the modern-day squad. With this squad, winning was easy. Savio. Oh, look at that. What a beautiful strike. That is absolutely brilliant. Well-deserved praise shout. One of the goals of the season right there. If that doesn't, if that's not in contention for Champions League goal of the season, then I don't know what we're doing. Look at this. Savio, acres of space. He just takes one touch and then boom. Beautiful stuff. All right, it's all go. Hot take. If it wasn't for Ten Hag, Cristiano Ronaldo wouldn't be known as much as he is now. Yeah, that's an interesting case to be made there. I mean, it certainly felt like when Ronaldo re-signed for Man U, it felt like that was going to be like the final stage of his career. Go back to Man United, and maybe, he was just going to play 2 or 3 seasons more, and that would have been it. But yeah, that falling out with Ten Hag, that seemed to drive him on. Yeah, and who knows if there was a different person in charge, how would things have been different? You know what I mean. I keep repeating different, but yeah, interesting take, that one. All right, good stuff. I mean, we've been saying for the last couple of World Cups, is it going to be our last World Cup with Messi and Ronaldo? They're still going in 2026. Who knows? I wouldn't be surprised if we still see Ronaldo showing up in 2028 at the European Championships. At this rate. What do we think? In the chat, there's a good conversation to have. How much longer do you think we're going to have Messi and Ronaldo gracing the football field professionally? How long do you think they've got left? Are they... Oh, we got a penalty. Beautiful stuff. Now, the penalties are important. We've had terrible luck with penalties. Hierro, Raul, Figo, they've all missed penalties this season. So I've put Dion Dublin on penalties. He's the redeemer. And there you go. We finally, I think at the 5th attempt this season, we've scored a penalty. And it's Dion Dublin who's done it. I may have been a bit unfair on Figo there. I don't think Figo actually took one. But Raul missed 2. Hierro missed 2. Dion Dublin, though, has broken the curse. And we finally score a penalty this season. Beautiful. Things you love to see. All right. Another 3 years, you reckon, James? Is that for both of them? You reckon for both of them? But if they go another 3 years, they might as well go a 4th year and get one more World Cup in. I think especially if you think for Messi, right, we're going to have a couple of games hosted in South America for the 2030 World Cup. So surely Messi, if you're Messi, you would want to play. You would want to play in a World Cup in your home country. And the same for Ronaldo too, of course, because then the main hosts for 2030 are going to be, it's going to be Spain, Portugal, Morocco. So maybe Ronaldo then wants to play in the World Cup in his own country as well. So I think we might see them keep going until 2030. I really do. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Anyway, here we go. We're 5-0 up. This is all too easy. Panathinaikos. They might as well have just stayed at home in Greece. Anyway. They're going to be in a worse state than the Parthenon by the time we're finished with them. I'll tell you that much. All right. All right, let's see if we can add a 6 before half-time. This is all beautiful stuff so far. There you go. We've won the ball. It might be coming, you know. Here we go. Figo working the flank. Oh, he gives the ball away too easily. And Panathinaikos, go for a rugby kick. Messi doesn't have any motivation after winning it. Ronaldo is super old. Yeah, maybe. Ronaldo's, he's already past 40, so he's going to be mid-40s by the time of the next World Cup. Although he is in fantastic physical condition. Ronaldo at 40 plus is like most players at 30 odd. He's an absolute beast. Messi doesn't quite have that kind of same level of physical conditioning as Ronaldo, I guess, but he just keeps going. He's a machine. I mean, I suppose it helps for both of them playing in leagues that they do, the MLS and the Saudi Pro League. That must be a bit easier for them than if they were trying to keep pace with the Premier League or something like that. So I think that helps them. Maybe they'll go for an even smaller league to finish their careers off, somewhere where they can really take it easy. All right, good. Let's get out there for the second half, see what we can do. Don't forget to keep hitting that like button. We want to get our first Guess the Footballer quiz of the evening in. I tell you what, we'll do that one at 500 likes. So let's get 500 likes and we'll do our first quiz of the evening. And let's see how many goals we can add here. We did this against Feyenoord in the previous stream. We charged into a massive first half lead. We did then in the second half kind of ease off a bit and let them back into it. But I don't want to let up here. So we'll get a praise shout out for the boys. Keep them motivated. We might look at making some substitutions, getting some of the bit part players some game time. 5-0 up is the perfect time to come on. All right, good stuff. Let's get the ball off them here. Oh no, Liberopoulos with a goal. That was all too easy. All too easy. All right, never mind. All right, good stuff. Let's keep this going now. Come on. Let's make it 6-1 here. Come on. That's what we're looking for. We don't do clean sheets, fair enough, but we do lots of goals. There we go. Savio pulls it back in. Shot gets blocked. Helguera. All right, let's have a look. Figo. No. Okay, can't find him with that one. All right, we're up to 464 likes. Keep them coming in. Don't forget to share the live as well and keep those comments coming in. Always good to have a chat with you guys. All right, we're coming in last 30 minutes now. Let's see. I'm going to make some substitutions here. Let's give a few of our bit part players a bit of a run out. So, Julio Cesar. Haven't played him much this season, so he comes on for Hierro. We will also look at Muntis. He hasn't had much game time, so he comes on for Savio. And Celades. Celades can come on for Makaleli. There we go. Give them the team talk. Go out there. Make a little bit of an impact on the game, a personal impact, and let's see where we go from there. All right, good stuff. 20 minutes to play here. This is going to put us 3 points clear of Feyenoord. I think if we win the next game against Panathinaikos, that's this group sewn up. We're definitely through to the next round at that point. So it's all looking good. We've started this stream hot tonight. All right, let's see what we can do from here. 5 minutes to play. Fairly quiet second half, but that kind of stuff is to be expected. All right, good stuff. Well, I thought we were going to finish there. Are we going to add a 6-1 here? Figo, we don't have Roberto Carlos today because he's suspended. Let's see what Figo can do. Oh, he went for it. And it almost worked. We get a corner. All right, this is where Dion... they don't show us the corner. I was going to say this is where Dion Dublin's at his best. But okay, there we go. We finally done it. We got the 5-1 win. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Why is Dion Dublin at Real Madrid? Love it. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, so this is the 2000-2001 database. I took over Real Madrid in the Galactico era, and I decided, no, we don't want Galacticos here. We want a big target man up front, so I went with Dion Dublin. I wanted Duncan Ferguson initially, but he didn't want to move from Everton. So I got Dion Dublin to come instead. And then we brought in Ugo Ehiogu in defence, David Batty in midfield. That's the spine of the team. We're looking to, power the ball down the flanks, get the crosses in for Dion Dublin to head home, and we're going to see if we can win the Champions League that way. All right, Dion Dublin gets man of the match. Absolutely brilliant stuff. All right, we'll send our assistant there for that one. Okay, good. And now next game is Panathinaikos again. Okay, respect. Well, of course, we like to do things a bit differently. If I manage a big team on Football Manager, I'll always set myself some kind of challenge just to make it a little bit more of a story or a little bit more of a challenge. So I won't just take over Real Madrid and then be like, hey, guys, look at me. I'm winning everything with Real Madrid. No, let's take over Real Madrid. Or if we do a save with PSG or Bayern Munich, we'll always find a way to make it, a little bit more interesting. So if, follow. If you're not following already, follow for that kind of stuff. It's what we do all the time. I generally prefer to go for smaller teams, it has to be said. Usually I'll pick up a kind of, a team that's, always been there or thereabouts, but never quite won anything, or I'll go down to the bottom division and try to bring a team up, something like that. Let's see. Oh, no. Ugo Ehiogu's injured. All right, we're going to leave it to the physio. He's going to be out for 6 weeks. Let's have a little chat with him. Let's say, don't worry. Yeah, you're still in the team. Second name on the team sheet after Dion Dublin once you're back from injury. Thank you, James, for the follow. Much appreciated. All right, good stuff. And we've reached 500 likes. Fantastic. Okay, thank you for that, Clarky. All right. Let's keep it clean. All right. Let's see. So what we'll do now, we got to 500 likes. We are going to do our guess the player. So I have in my hand here a card, one of the cards you get with classic football shirts. It is a player that was popular around this era, someone well known around this year 2000 era. You just have to ask me questions to try and guess who it is. So, try and guess the nationality, try and guess the clubs he played for, and things like that. So get your questions in the chat to try and guess who this player is. Like, your main clue is going to be that he is someone who was very well known, very popular at the time of this database, this 2000-2001 database. So that's your clue. All right, good stuff. Let's keep going. Right, send the assistant to the press conference and get ready for our next match. All right, good stuff. Let's see, get all that going. Good stuff. So hopefully this is going to be another big win for us. Was he a Spanish player, asked James. Not Spanish, no. No, not Spanish. But thanks for getting us started with the first question. So not a Spanish player. All right, good. Let's get through all of those. And let's see, let's get on to the next game. So, trying to guess the player on this card. I'm trying to make sure his name's not on the back or something like that. English, James? No, not English. Perhaps is best known for, certainly to English football fans, for his time in the Premier League, but not English. All right, let's go to the match. Ugo Ehiogu's unavailable, so let's keep doing that rotation. Let's get David Batty back in the team. I rested him for the previous game, but let's get him back out there tonight in place of Makalele. All right, good stuff. Go to the match. Yes, please. All right, European. Yes, so he is from the continent, from the European mainland. That is correct, but not English, not Spanish. Try another big footballing nation. All right, let's address the team. Okay, so we could qualify for the next stage today. So let's go out there and do it. Of course, going away to a team like Panathinaikos, it's always a bit tough, but we will go for it. All right, here we go. We've already done all the Champions League stuff tonight, so we can skip it this time. All right, straight into the kickoff. So German or Polish? No, neither of those. Neither of those, not separately nor in combination. So it's not... who was it? Was it Poldolski? Why did I blank on that name for a second? Who was, of course, German-Polish. I think there were a few other players, weren't there, around that era who were Polish but represented Germany as well, like Klose. Wasn't Miroslav Klose also of Polish origins? French? No, James, he's not French. So we keep going. We know he's not Spanish, not English, not German, not Polish, not French. So keep guessing. If you're just joining us, we're trying to guess the player I've got on this card here. A famous player from the era of the 2000-2001 database. All right, good stuff. So let's see. Pretty quiet game so far. All right, I was going to do a shout, but we will wait. We will wait and see what happens with this highlight. All right, good stuff. So Roberto Carlos picking the ball up there. Savio, he's going to go for it. Marauding down the wing, get the cross in. There we go. Nice and easy does it. Morientes has picked up a knock. What's that about? Okay, didn't notice him pick up a knock, but doesn't matter. He still scored it. Beautiful goal. Well played. Ukraine? No, not from Ukraine. Not from Ukraine. Somewhere more obvious, somewhere more associated with, great footballers. All right, good stuff. Can we get on? Somewhere European, of course. All right. Getting up to half-time. We're 1-0 up. It's been a fairly quiet game. Okay, can we go 2-0 up here before half-time? I think we can, Roberto Carlos, come over to the right here to take the throw-in. Interesting closing highlight to show us. But Italy, asks Ollie. You've got the nationality, Ollie. So this is an Italian player. So we've made some progress. So we now know he's Italian. So let's go from there. So not Portuguese, just Italian. All right, good stuff. Let's do the halftime team talk then. We can definitely find another gear. You weren't that bad. Savio and Morientes have been really good, so we'll let them know as much. Dion. Yeah, Dion, you're taking it a bit easy tonight. Oh, Ollie, straight in there. It's Gianfranco Zola. All right, so there you go. I guess the Italian popular player in the Premier League around the era 2000-2001. Yeah, it's pretty easy to figure out from there. The great Gianfranco Zola. I think he was someone who, despite the fact that he played for a moneybags team like Chelsea, I think everybody loved Zola. Even if, Morientes, I should have taken him off. He's now injured. All right, let's bring on Raul. What an option to have on the bench. Morientes has got injured, so let's put Raul on there. All right, go out there and make an impact. Good stuff. All right, the way things we love to see. All right, get Morientes on there. All right, good. Right, let's have a look what Panathinaikos are going to do here. We don't want to let them equalise. We want to get this win today, so we've sealed our qualification for the next round of the Champions League. Of course, the Champions League at the time, Vlahovic gets that equaliser, just as we were saying that. The Champions League at the time, this was the era of 2 group stages. So we have like 32 teams split across 8 groups. And then the top 2 go through, and then we get 4 groups of 4 coming up after Christmas. So it was a time when the Champions League, there was quite a number of games to play in the Champions League at the time. All right, here we go. Going for Raul, looking for him. Steve McManaman went for a worldie there, but just wide. Okay, cheers, Ollie. Thanks for dropping in and thanks for joining in. Been good to have you in this evening. Hopefully we'll see you for another stream soon. All right, 20 minutes to go. We're going to make a couple of other subs, I think. Right, I think we've got quite a few players not having a good game tonight. But we're going to bring on Figo. McManaman's one of those not having a good game. And we'll also bring on Muntis on the left for Savio. All right, get out there and make a difference. Come on, it would be silly if we've beaten Leverkusen and Feyenoord, and then we drop points against Panathinaikos, the team. Oh, thank you for the follow, Ollie, on the way out. Much appreciated. But yeah, the team that we just beat 6-1, or 5-1, was it? And then we draw with them a week later. But, or maybe we lose. Oh my God, Flippinson. What the hell was that? Oh no. That was a hell of a goal, but it was our own stupidness. David Batty, what are you playing at? He just gave it away. We just gave this Fippison too much space. Good goal, to be fair. All right, let's see. Come on. Let's demand more from the team. We've got 10 minutes for an equaliser here. Let's see if we can get it. Probably Is it a mistake to play attacking away from home in Europe? Maybe. But, I figured it's only Panathinaikos. Maybe we've just been a bit too cocky here. But we need to stay on attacking now. We almost went 3-1 down there. Right, come on. Let's check out some of these instructions. We're going to have to go much more direct. We're going to have to start. We're already on early crosses. We want the goalkeeper to distribute quickly. And we want to start dominating the flanks. Good. Pass into space, please. And then let's make sure we're doing long free kicks too. Up to the target man. All right, good. That's going to help us out a bit. All right, hopefully. Thank you for the follow, Wads. Appreciated. Hopefully we're going to get an equaliser here. It'd be a bit embarrassing to lose to Panathinaikos. But I suppose we're still clear at the top. But yeah, it looks like we're going to lose this one, unfortunately. Those tactical tweaks did not work. All right, we're going to have some questions to answer. Very disappointed. All right, it's going to be back to La Liga action from here. Let's see what we can do. All right. Don't like the result. Never nice. We deserved more. Yeah, and Flippinson. Flipping out. What a goal. All right. We'll get qualification in the next game. You can't win them all. Osasuna next in the league. Osasuna, where are they in the table? They are 10th at the moment. Let's see. I don't think you can see the full table there. I can drag it across, of course, if I just pull it over here. There you go. So Osasuna down in 10th. So we'll be looking for a win. We've got to close that gap on Real Sociedad at the top. Barcelona, 5 points ahead, but they've played a game more. So we're going to try and close the gap on them in our next game. Right, press conference. That's for the assistant. Who needs a rest? Dion needs a rest, does he? He's not getting one. Maybe Batty can have a rest after giving the ball away there. Dearie me. Anyway, we pick things up. We ride again. Guti developing concerns. I don't know. He just doesn't fit the system. What can I say? Let's see. Let's have a little chat with Guti. I don't know. What were your thoughts on Guti? I never rated him, to be honest. I just thought he just happened to be in a great team like Real Madrid, and he actually wasn't that great a player. You just don't fit in with my plans. Okay, so yeah, it's up to you. Probably best that you leave. Arrange a loan. No. Won't be loaning you out. There you go. How not to do a player conversation there. How not to do a player conversation. But all right. Good stuff. All right. Hope you're all having a good Tuesday evening and you've had a decent start to the week. Let us know what football team you support as you come in. Let us know in the chat. What's your team? What are they, what's their position? Is their season over? Have they still got something to play for? Or still fighting against relegation? Okay, Arenado is asking for a save idea, a right proper challenge. Okay, well, that depends. I've got some questions for you at that point. Are you looking for a short-term challenge or a long-term challenge, first of all? That would be the first question. That can help us narrow it down and make some suggestions for you. Well, I deal with the squad mutiny. Guti wants first-team football. He needs to improve. Surely you can see. No, I can't see that. Very disappointed. There you go. I'm losing the dressing room, but who cares? You're at a Celtic game at the weekend and you still haven't got over that Maida overhead kick. Oh, so you were at the Celtic... That was Celtic Rangers, wasn't it? Has to be a long-term challenge. All right, so how about... seeing as I'm managing in Spain at the moment, how about FC Andorra? That would be a good challenge. So obviously FC Andorra, Gerard Piqué's team, playing in the Segunda Division. So obviously the challenge there would be to build them up, get them promoted to La Liga, turn them into contenders for La Liga to challenge. Anytime in Spain you're trying to challenge Barcelona, Real Madrid. That in itself is going to be tough, but do it with FC Andorra. Maybe, if you want to go, thank you for the follow, Arenado. If you want to go for a really difficult version of the challenge, try and do it with Andorran players only, like players coming out of your youth academy. I mean, that would be ultra hard mode. Or you could, just build the team and over time try and make sure you got as many Andorrans in as possible. And then, of course, with the international update coming, the classic way to do the Andorra challenge is to also take over the Andorra national team and try and, use FC Andorra, build that team up, build up that youth academy, start generating players who turn Andorra into a team that can qualify for the Euros and for the World Cup and things like that. So Pedro Mantis wants to go on loan. Oh, dearie me. We've got a squad mutiny at Real Madrid. Can you believe it? We have got unhappy players at Real Madrid. That would just never happen in real life, would it? You would never get unhappy players at Real Madrid. Like, what's Football Manager doing here? So unrealistic. I'm referencing something from the weekend, of course, or from last week. All right, good stuff. Let's see. Paul Malone says you're playing Strømmen in Norway. Won Division 2 and 1. Fantastic. Just won the European Cup, now in the Europa League. Absolutely fantastic progress. How many seasons in are you, Paul? That must it could be just a few seasons in, or it could be a bit longer term. Used to love the type of sleeping giant save, but you've done all of the typical ones. All right, well, good stuff. Hopefully you're going to enjoy FC Andorra. All right, 3rd season. Fantastic. Good to hear. All right, let's have a look. Muntis, he wants more game time, but I'm not going to promise it to him. No, don't want it alone. Importance to the team. Happy to give you cup starts. No, he wants regular football. Okay, I'll let him have a run in the team. Go on then. What's the worst that could happen? That bicycle kick. Yeah. Well, what was goal of the weekend, do you guys think? Obviously, in Scotland, we had the overhead kick from Maida. Sorry, don't know why I pressed that. You had the Marcus Rashford free kick for Barcelona against Real Madrid. That was a fantastic free kick. That looked like something straight out of FIFA, that free kick. Absolutely brilliant. Maida hands down, says Arenado. Okay. Never mind goal of the weekend, that's goal of the season. Well, we all know, I'm sure you've seen, Alicia Lehmann, goal of the season for Leicester City. Has anybody seen that? It was, to be fair, it was the Leicester City goal of the season, not the WSL goal of the season. But it's got decent passing build-up, I suppose, but it's a tap-in, and they made it goal of the season. Anyway, you've seen that one, have you, Aaron? All right, yes. Yeah, a bit of an interesting choice. But I guess I did see a video, somebody breaking it down, and they did point out that, well, Leicester have only scored 11 goals all season, so it's not exactly a great list to pick from. All of their goals for the season would be on the short list. Anyway, let's have a look. Jeremy's been injured. Ooh, okay, send him to a specialist. We got the money. We'll splash the cash. All right, good stuff. Let's see. Let's try and get back to winning ways here against Osasuna. And let's have a look at our fixture schedule, actually. So we've got Osasuna, Rayo Vallecano, Deportivo. Then we got an international break. So I'm going to do the next 3 league games, and that'll be our stream for tonight. So you don't have to sit and watch me clicking through the international break. All right, let's have a go. So Muntis is insisting on starting. I'm going to play him instead of Savio. There's no way we're dropping Dion. Come on. We're not dropping Dion. And then we'll get Raul with Dion. This is a big league game, so we want all our big hitters out there. And David Batty, of course, in for Conceição. Batty and Makalele. What a pairing that is. All right, let's go to the match. Okay, Pedro Muntis lacking sharpness. Now, anyway, what club am I at, asks Tyrone. This is Real Madrid. See, I've got the shirt on here, but we are managing in the 2000-2001 database, so I'm wearing the kit from that season. And yeah, we're playing Anti-Galactico football. It is indeed a crazy database. Anti-Galactico football, and that's why you will see the likes of David Batty and Dion Dublin in this team. We've also got Ugo Ehiogu, but he's unfortunately picked up an injury, so he's going to sit the next few games out. Let's go out there and get the result. Home advantage. All right, good. Talk to the media. If we're scoring, we're doing something right. Yes. Yeah, we need to focus on our style of play. Let's get out there for this big game. Right, hopefully we can get back to winning ways here against Osasuna. All right, good stuff. Keep those likes coming in. Don't forget to share the live as well. Follows are appreciated too if you like this kind of slightly more madcap football manager content. We've got to find our own ways to make the game interesting these days. Once we get to, let's say, 750 likes, we'll do another Guess the Player game. All right, let's see, though. We're up against it here with Osasuna. We've got to make sure that, they're a team that could surprise us. We don't want to let them do that. Raul looking for Dion. Big Dion. He was going to jump. He was going to soar. We got the penalty. Here we go. Dion Dublin with the penalty. He's already scored one tonight. Is he going to make it 2 for 2? Come on, Dion. Goals and... What the hell was that? I think Dion was thinking, bedroom at the top of the stairs. That's where I'm going to send the ball. Deary me. Dion, the penalty curse has returned. Absolutely terrible stuff. Anyway, here we go. Roberto Carlos. That's one of the worst penalties I've ever seen on Football Manager. One of the worst misses ever, I think. Anyway, Roberto Carlos plays it in. Oh, almost. Almost. Oh, I've got a bad feeling about this game now. We've missed a penalty and we've missed a couple of sitters early on. And I've got a really bad feeling now that we're going to get sucker punched. Do you ever get that feeling that you're about to get FM'd? That's what I've got here. Yeah, Dion Dublin, too busy thinking about homes under the hammer. He looked up and he saw, he saw the stadium and he got excited about how it had all been renovated. And yeah, he just overhit his penalty. He's on a 6.1 as a result of that. Teary me. Not good at all. Not good at all. All right, let's keep it going. Let's demand a bit more from the team. This is a home game against a weaker opponent. We should be winning here. So let's see what we can do. Man, can we get back in this? I hope so. I hope so. But it's 0-0 at half-time. I mean, I don't know. We're not playing well. Something's not working tonight. Right, let's address the team. We simply have to be better. Of course, the squad are unhappy with my treatment of Guti. But, they're just going to have to get over it. Not happy, not happy. Not happy's all round. You haven't been good enough, not even close. Raul got upset at that. Well, Raul, we've got no place here for crybabies, Raul. If you're not gonna play ball, I know you're injured. You picked up a knock, but you're just gonna have to suck it up, man. All right, here we go. Roberto Carlos. If there's a man who can unlock this game, it's Roberto Carlos. And my God, he nearly took the goalkeeper's fingers off. All right. We'll keep trying. We'll keep trying here. See if we can get another goal. Anyway. It's all gone a bit quiet. Right. Oh, wait. Here we go. Roberto Carlos. Time for another thunderbolt. He keeps going for it. One of those has got to land eventually. I think as we get up to the hour mark, I'm going to have to take Raul off. He's hurt. What's the issue with him? Potential groin injury. We don't like to see that. So we're going to bring on this kid, Tote. Not the best option. He's just 21. He's a reserve player. But we're going to put him on. Should we put Guti on? Seeing as Guti thinks he's the business. Go out there and save the game for us then, Guti. Try to score the winning goal. Off we go. All right, we're not blessed with great options from the subs bench today. But we'll give it a go. All right, Roberto Carlos, come on. Find Dion's big head with this one. He looked for it. Tote just on as a sub. He went for it. Just misses. Oh, come on. Let's encourage the team at this point. Try and keep things positive. Come on. We can do this. Only Roberto Carlos is having a good game tonight. He's on a 7.0. Everyone else is in the mid-sixes. Dion Dublin on a 5.9. Hasn't recovered from that shocking penalty miss. We needed a big win tonight, but it hasn't happened. Right, we're going to have to demand more for the final few minutes. Instructions, we're going to have to tell them to start sending it down the flanks. Play it into space. We've already got early crosses on. We're going to encourage shots from distance. We're going to go for whipped crosses, get them in low and fast. And get those goal kicks out there long as well. Get everything up to the target forward. Right, let's play ball. Come on, we can do this. Muntis not having a great game. I said I'd give him a run in the team, and he's on a 5.9. Come on, Muntis, man. Here we go, Dublin. Ooh, he plays a fancy backheel to Batty. What's all that about, Dion Dublin? That's not what we signed you for. Anyway, come on, McManaman, here we go. Batty. There we go, Helguera. Is there something coming here late in the game? Yes, no. Oh, that was a terrible miss. Oh, has he just cost us the game? Terrible miss there, and I think that's going to cost us. We're held to a goalless draw. Dearie me. That's rubbish. Oh, thank you, JC, for the follow. Appreciated. What's my best FM achievement this year? Probably the fact that I'm still playing the game in May. To be honest, that's my best achievement on Football Manager this year. I'm still here. What can I say? More seriously, though, well, also tell us in the chat, in the comments, what your biggest achievement on FM's been this year. But possibly it's been getting my Sheffield United team promoted to WSL in my main save over on the long form channel. That's been a good one. All right, we should have won that game. Taking Macclesfield to win the treble. So treble, domestic treble, you mean? So Premier League, FA Cup, League Cup. That is some achievement. How many seasons did it take you, JC? All right, tactical battle. We didn't get the luck we deserved. Yeah, okay. And they're not happy with the performances of the players that they're saying you should be playing. Quelle surprise. Started to save in December. All right, so you've been at it for a while. All right, Raul is going to be out with a groin strain for 2 weeks. And we've got players in need of a rest, but I can't give them a rest. Because we've got so many players out injured at the moment. 14 seasons. That's quite a lot. All right, but a good effort. Have you found, if you've played FM before, have you found it's like quicker to get through the seasons? I mean, a lot of people are saying that it is quicker, but that's come at the cost of the immersion with the game. Figo wants to be starting more games. Okay. Yeah, we'll say. Sure. Fine. Figo, you can start more games. Just stop being shit. That's the main thing. Figo, that's the deal, Figo. You can start more games if you stop being shit. It's simple management. Simple man management. Man management 101. Stop being shit and I'll play you more often. The retro mod is the 2000-2001 database. So the mad scientist, you can look him up on TikTok and find out how to access the database from there. It's also on Steam. If you play the Football Manager PC version on Steam, you can download it from the workshop there. And thank you, Jake, for the follow. Appreciate it. You didn't like the game at the start, but as you've continued playing, it's better than 24. Okay, that's a rare positive comment for this year's iteration of the game. Okay, lots of scouting reports coming in, but we don't have the budget to sign anybody, and the transfer window's not open anyway. Right, so who are we playing next? Rayo Vallecano. Bit of a Madrid derby, the lesser Madrid derby, you could say. All right, we've got to win this one, surely. Let's have a look. Player targets, promises updates, blah, blah, blah. Okay, good. We'll just skip through those. What's the expectation? Expecting a win. Of course, we're all expecting a win. So am I. We started off hot with 2 wins in our first 2 games tonight, but then a defeat in the Champions League and dropped points in La Liga. We need a couple of big results in our next 2 games against Rayo Vallecano and Deportivo La Coruña. The graphics are much better. You find yourself watching the games more? Absolutely. Match day presentation. That's been one of the things that they've really done well this year. So it's good to see. Right, let's see. They want me to rest Dion. He did have a bad game last time out. So I think that's what we might have to do. We're going to bench Dion Dublin for this one. No, we can't do that. I'm only joking. I'm never going to bench Dion Dublin. But I am going to play him up front with Morientes as his strike partner. We've got Figo out on the right. Muntis is going to get the game on the left, seeing as that's what he wants. So that's what he'll get. And let's see. We'll go to the match. Hopefully, we're going to get back to winning ways today. So we're playing a 4-4-2. So we're trying to play for something that's a bit more Route 1 football and attacking. I did have to turn off. I couldn't go just for constant long ball football, though, because we were just giving the ball away too often. So I adapted the tactic. A bit more shorter passing, but getting down the flanks, getting the crosses in, and things like that. So getting those overlapping runs, irresistible from Roberto Carlos and co. Okay, so it's a derby. Do it for the fans. All right, let's get out there. Of course, Rayo Vallecano, 25-26 season. They're Crystal Palace's opponents in the Conference League final. A dodgy playing surface. Perfect for me. All right, believing in ourselves. Yeah, it's all down to hard work. Good stuff. Let's go to the dugout. Yeah, the pitch does look a bit ropey, doesn't it? All right, good stuff. Let's see what we can do here. Can we get back to winning ways today? Off we go. I do love Rayo Vallecano's kit, though. You got to love a kit with a diagonal sash on it. Reminiscent of the great Peru kit, of course, this one. But at least Real Madrid get to play in the black and gold. Let's have a look. You've also been invincible in all competitions with Hoffenheim. A good save. Yeah, sounds like it. Wow, that's how long did it take you to build Hoffenheim up to that level? Rayo Vallecano. Ooh, good save by Casillas. Beautiful stuff. Well done. Right, we'll encourage the team. Good stuff. All right. Beautiful. 5 seasons. So not too long to kind of overturn Bayern and dominate. All right. And invincible in all competitions. Did you actually win the league, though? Or were you like, which team was it? Benfica, isn't it? Benfica this season, who look set to go invincible but not win the Portuguese title. All right, here we go. Good bit of play here. Morientes heads it wide. Oof. Yeah, you won every competition you were in. Fantastic. Always good to do a clean sweep. But then do you feel like that's the point where the save's complete and then you're going to move on to a different save or take a break? Or do you want to just keep going with Hoffenheim and see if you can repeat that kind of success again and again? I sometimes feel like when you've won something big, there's a bit of an itch to continue. But then there's also that feeling of, well, I think we've done it all now, haven't we? Anyway, there we go. Morientes with the header at the far post. Things you love to see. All right. Well done, well done, guys. Well done. All right. Let's keep this going to half-time. We're dominating this game. Rayo Vallecano just had that free kick early on. They got Sebi Ballesteros in defence, I've just noticed. Look at that. Big... Oh, Sergio Ballesteros. But okay. We'll call him Sebi Ballesteros. Who's injured? Muntis. Good. I'm glad. Right, that's fantastic news for us. If Muntis, then he'll stop moaning about game time. Lower leg injury. Ooh, I hope it's not serious, of course. But it's good to have him, a headache removed. He's been taken out, as it were. All right, go out there and make the difference. Let's get Savio. Savio's a better player anyway. All right, so you started another save then with Roma and won the league 3 years in a row after that went wrong. Some big saves this year. Sounds like it, yeah. Do we think FM26 has been easier than other versions of the game? Or more difficult? Just about the same? With the in possession, out of possession, has that made it more challenging? More difficult? Or more accessible? What do you think? Anyway, here we go. Roberto Carlos. Come on. Second goal before half-time, please. Morientes. Oh, that was greedy. Should have laid that off for Dion. Should have laid that one off. We had that problem with Raul early in the season. He just wasn't passing the ball to Dion Dublin. Now maybe Morientes is a bit the same. All right. Casey Keller, is that in goal? Wow. There's a bit of a throwback name. Casey Keller. Did he play for Fulham? Or am I confusing him with another American goalkeeper? Because I remember this era, you had Casey Keller, you had Brad Friedel, and Tim Howard. So quite a few. There was a good stock of American goalkeepers, a lot of whom came over to the Premier League. All right, you've been good so far, but there's room for improvement. Indeed, just what I was thinking myself. Defense has been doing well. Well done. Midfield's been doing okay. Up front, we're okay as well. All right, out there for the second half. All right, so you started in FM23, so you struggled more on 24. So you think this is easier, so you kind of learnt the game a bit. Of course, 24, we had a lot of time to master 24. And there we go, Solari with a great goal. All right, so Bristolian Bluebird just saw a game out away at Millwall after so many late conceded goals. Feels good. All right. So what was that? Playoffs, was it? He did play for Fulham, but he mainly played for Millwall. Oh, of course, yes. Casey Keller. I knew he'd played for the Cottagers at some point. All right, lovely. All right. Yeah, he did. Yes. Okay, good. So we're all caught up on that. Fantastic. And thank you for the likes. We'll get to 1,000 likes, and then we'll do another retro player quiz. Guess the player. Let's see. Who can we go for next time? Ooh, that's a good one. Oh, I've already picked the player. We're going to do at 1,000 likes. So keep those coming in. All right. Who do I support? JC. Manchester United is my team. Going back to the early days of the Alex Ferguson era. Mark Robbins, that FA Cup run that probably saved Fergie's job. That's when I really got into following them through that whole FA Cup run. Great days. All right, here we go. Karanka. Let's see. Goal number 3, please. Solari. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I asked for a goal. You gave me a goal. Beautiful stuff. All right. All right. United, he says. All right. You love Champ Man and Football Manager. Shows how amazing your favourite player would have become. Riquelme. Oh, yes, Riquelme. What a player. Always used to try and sign him back in the day. The whole time I supported United. Yeah, you're unlucky. You're unlucky. You missed the glory days. Of course, though, I started supporting before those glory days came. Thank you, Wade's Ball, for the follow. Much appreciated. I started supporting Man United before the glory days. Like, when Alex Ferguson, there was kind of this feeling that if he didn't win something, he was going to be sacked. And he managed to win that FA Cup in 91, I think it was. But I've spent my entire adult life having to justify why I support Man United and why I'm not just some glory hunter. And then people always ask you, well, what are your connections to Manchester? Where's your dad from? Where's your mum from? And things like that. Who does your dad support? And it's like I have to pass some kind of test just to say I'm a Man United supporter. I don't think other teams, people don't get grilled in quite the same way. As when you say you're a Manchester United supporter. I mean, I've got my reasons, my justifications. Dion Dublin, oh, I thought that was going to be a goal there. But, you know, that's just the way it is, I suppose. It's what happens when you've got great success. Yes. So you had no choice, JC. But, you know, we will see the great times again. Anyway, we're on to 1,000 likes. So I've got here a classic football shirts card of a classic football player. In the chat, you need to ask me questions to guess who this is. So you might try to guess his nationality. You might try to guess what leagues he played in and things like that. See if you can figure out who it is. It is someone who was around at the time of the 2000-2001 database. So much like we had Zola earlier tonight. So it's somebody who was around at the same kind of time. Straight in there with the guess, Henry. Thierry Henry. I assume you mean. Not somebody else called Henry. No, it's not Thierry Henry. Oh, there we go. Big win tonight. This is great. Did he play in a top 5 league? He did, JC. He did play in a top 5 league. Absolutely. I might have to look up other teams he played for. There's one team in particular that he is most associated with. But I'd have to double check where else he played. Let me just have a look. Get this up now so I don't have to try and spend ages working it out later. But okay, 4 clubs overall he's played for. All right, good stuff. 3 clubs. Did he win the Prem? No, he never played in the Premier League. So he played in a top 5 league, but never in the Premier League. All right, big win for us today. That's absolutely beautiful. So great win over our rivals. Well done. Is he Italian? He's not Italian. La Liga, he did not play in La Liga. No. So, yeah. Yeah, you might be starting to narrow it down, though. All right. Quiet determination. How big a result is this? Winning breeds confidence. And how long can we stay unbeaten? Yeah, as long as we want. Do you have a limit of questions? No. And Papin? Jean-Pierre Papin? It's not Jean-Pierre Papin. No. All right, he's a bit before this era. I suppose he might have... Was Jean-Pierre Papin still playing in 2000? He might have been, but yeah, he's past his prime by that point anyway. So no limit on questions. Just keep firing away until you get it, essentially. If you're just joining us, we're trying to guess the player for the card I'm holding in my hand. Hopefully, I didn't give anything away there. We've narrowed it down so far a little bit. He's never played in the Premier League or La Liga. He's not Italian, but he has won. He has played in a top 5 league, sorry. All right, good stuff. We've got one more match to do tonight, so we'll do that next. And it's a big one, isn't it? Deportivo La Coruña away. All right, good stuff. And okay, good. All right. So you won Champions League with Worthing 8 years in a row. Fantastic. Are you going to go for 10? Go for 10 in a row? Why not? Or see if you can beat Real Madrid's total. All right, we've got that international window coming up. Salades. Everybody, it's the Moan-vember, as I saw it called on the WFM show earlier this week from Katie. She was saying how, you get to November and all your players start moaning about, I'm not getting enough game time. I don't care. Salades, you're rubbish. You're not starting ahead of Makalele Conceição and Batty. I'll give you cup starts. Okay. Just let you go permanently. Oh, I love that. I said, I'm just going to let you go permanently, and immediately he backs down. Sorry, boss. Sorry. Yeah. Was he a defender? No, he was not a defender, JC. Okay, so keep going. We know. So we got a lot of things he wasn't. He wasn't Italian. He didn't play in La Liga or the Prem. And he's not a defender. All right, but keep going. We'll get there in the end. All right, let's see. Depor next. Let's see. Midfielder. Yes, more of a midfielder. More on the attacking side, but a midfielder. Yes. Not an out-and-out striker or anything like that, but an attacking midfielder, we could say. Maybe later in his career, he would have dropped a bit deeper. All right, good. Keep them coming in as we get ready for our final match of the evening. All right, expectations. They want a win. They want attacking football. All right, here we go. Did he play in Germany? No, he did not. He only played in 2 leagues. He played in 2 different leagues in his career, but Germany was not one of them. All right, good. Let's go and get this match sorted. So, who do we want? We want to make a few changes, swap a few things around here. So, Muntis, he didn't have a serious injury. That's a shame. All right, Roberto Carlos needs a rest. Dion needs a rest. They can have a rest in the international break, can't they? All right, let's put Batty back in the team. Batty in for Conceição. Let's give Guti a game if he's so desperate for one. All right, and let's go to the match. Anti-Galacticos, you don't understand. So, yes, this is basically, we're playing in the year 2000. We've got a brilliant Real Madrid team, but we have signed some Anti-Galacticos, some Footballers who lack that star power, who lack that world-class quality. Dion Dublin, Ugo Ehiogu and David Batty. Bit of tough tackling and so on. JC's asking France and Serie A. He did not play in France, but he did play in Serie A. Is he above 30 in the database? Ooh, let me check. So he would have been approaching 30 at the time of the 2000-2001 season, but he wouldn't have been 30 at that time. All right, would you recommend to stay at FM24 or switch to 26? I don't know. I suppose if you're still enjoying FM24, you might as well continue with that until FM27 comes out. It just depends if you want to have all the new season stuff, but then the season's nearly over, so maybe it's not that important. You might want to wait a few months, 6 months, until the next version comes out. David Batty to Real Madrid, the greatest transfer that never happened, indeed. All right, carry your performance over from the last match, guys. This is our final match of the evening, everyone. So make sure you stick around for the game. And then hopefully we'll be able to go live tomorrow as well. I don't normally go live on Tuesdays, but I was at a loose end this Tuesday. Nedved, incorrect, JC. Not Nedved. All right, we always want to keep playing well, doing the best we can. No easy games anymore. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, good. Let's go and beat Deportivo La Coruña. Even though they got Mackay up front, we'll do it. Did he play for AC Milan, JC? He did. The question, Jeff, is I've got a player card here, a classic player from this kind of late 90s, early 2000s era. We're trying to guess who this player is. So far, we've established that he was a Serie A player. He had a stint at AC Milan. He did play in another league, but not in the Premier League, not La Liga, not Bundesliga, not France. We've ruled all of those out. Guti misses a sitter. Guti, he was saying, play me, play me, play me. And he's just missed an absolute sitter there. Encourage. All right, hopefully we'll get something out. Boban, says JC, not Boban. All right, come on, get us one. You think about the wrong part of Europe. Okay, Muntis. Oh, come on, that's another player asking for game time, and he's missed an absolute sitter as well. Absolutely terrible. See these players. Did he play in the 2002 World Cup? I believe he did. Yes, he did. He did play in the 2002 World Cup. He was an active international around that late 90s, early 2000s period. Hello, Townsend. Thank you for dropping in this evening. And JC. You're the man, JC. You got it. It is... Whoa, I just dropped him. Sorry. Not literally. Literally, actually. Didn't drop him for my team. Rui Costa it is. There you go. Beautiful. Well done. All right, thanks for joining us, Townsend. Much appreciated. You just joined us in time for the final game of the evening. We're looking to finish on a high. Can we go? We're looking for Dion Dublin there. Didn't quite get it to him, but Figo has picked it up. Come on, Figo. All the way. So, the three players who complained about playing time to me this evening, Guti, Mantis, Figo, they've all missed dead easy chances. And then if I drop them after this game, they'll cry about it. Don't like what I just saw from this team. Right. Not happy with your defensive work. David Batty is the only one who's put in a shift. We are not surprised. David Batty, very happy with your performance. Attackers, not been good enough. All right, let's get out there for the second half. Where's old Ugo? Unfortunately, he picked up an injury. So he's out until mid-December. So we're waiting for him to come back. So unfortunately, yeah, that's ruined our Anti-Galactico-ness for the evening a little bit. When's the next one? Asked JC. The next quiz will come in the next stream, I think. We won't have time for another one tonight. I'm just going to finish up this match against Deportivo, and then we're done for the evening. We are third in the table, but we need a win here to close the gap to Barcelona above us. So, let's see if we can get it here. Deportivo, though, of course, they were the reigning La Liga champions at the time. So, you know, this is a tough game. We should probably be taking it more seriously than we are. But, oh, terrible stuff there. What was going on with the defender there? What? He blocked it, but he didn't kick it out. Oh, that is just so dumb. So dumb. Jalmina, I mean, he's such a dangerous player. Look at that. Salgado, what did why didn't he just boot it out? Ah, dearie me. That was awful. Awful. It was a 1-2 off Salgado indeed. Okay, you enjoyed that? Good one, JC. You still got it, even though it's not someone from your era, indeed. Well, the names of places like players, rather, like Rui Costa, they echo across the ages. Right, I'm going to have to bring on Savio for Muntis. Muntis just can't cut the mustard. Figo is on a 6.3, so we're going to bring on Machmanaman. Guti's been rubbish as well, so get him off. Right, there we go. So team talk. Get out there. Yeah, make a difference. All right, hopefully we're not going to lose this one. We don't want to end the evening on a defeat, but come on, let's fire up. Here we go. Here we go. McManaman. Batty. All right, nice one. We went for the long ball. At least Batty knows how we want to play, but he was just not accurate with it. And here come Depor. They're coming at us. I have a bad feeling that we're going to go 2 down here. And we are. This is like that. Have you seen the videos of that girl she's like looking at her phone and she's like, oh, Arsenal have just scored. And then they turn the camera to the pitch and you see Arsenal score a goal. That's what I just did that to myself. Anyway, here we go. Salgado, come on. Come on, he's switched flanks nicely. Brought that into the middle. On David Batty, there we go. Come on. Get a win here. We need to get back into this. McManaman. Oh. No, not what we were looking for. Oh, dearie me. We dropped back to 6th. A win here would have taken us 2nd. We needed to win this game to go 2nd. But we're going to lose. This is this Anti-Galactico stuff. It's harder than it looks, I tell you that. Especially as the squad are now all mutinous. Yeah, dearie me. They're not fighting with each other. They're just fighting with me at the moment. All right, a bit of a shame to finish on a defeat for this evening, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Dion Dublin, he is a true Galactico, really. Yes, we got to agree with that. But anyway, yeah, that's yeah, unfortunate. All right, I have to watch out that I don't get the sack. You see there, we got a news story saying I'm facing tough times. Dearie me, things we do not like to see. But anyway, thank you very much for joining us this evening. Really appreciated it with those of you jumping into the chat. Good stuff. I'll hopefully see you tomorrow. If not tomorrow, it'll be Thursday. And then we will, we'll pick things up again. JC's getting one last question in. A team for your next save. Okay, so are you someone who prefers a one-club save kind of thing? Let's see. I think I would recommend going to either Eredivisie in the Netherlands or Eliteserien in Norway. So in Norway, try and bring Rosenborg back to the top, because at the time of the 2000-2001 database, Rosenborg were probably the best team from outside the big leagues. They were consistently reaching like the latter stages of the Champions League and things like that. So that would be a good team to try and bring them back to that kind of level. Or in the Eredivisie, you could an Ajax rebuild if you're looking for something fairly quick. Or you could go for some smaller team like Go Ahead Eagles, try to turn them into a powerhouse. Those are my recommendations to finish off this evening. But anyway, thank you very much, everybody, for joining this evening. Thank you for all the follows and the likes and all of that. I will see you soon for the next one. DG signing off. Good night. All right. Beautiful stuff. Okay, and for those of you on YouTube, thank you for watching. If you've watched this all the way through to the end, much appreciated. And we'll be back here soon for another one. Hopefully there won't be a gap for the next one, but DG signing off. See you next time.